Hello, my name is Ranu. In this video, I will tell you how you can extend your house under permitted development rules in England. What is permitted development? These are a set of rules fixed by the government that allow you to extend, increase, and alter your house without the need to apply for a formal planning permission to your local council. So that's one less pain in the neck for your renovation project. But listen to the experienced professionals when they ask you to seek permission, take prior approval, or obtain a lawful development certificate before you start construction on your extension, even if you think that your extension is under the permitted development rules. Why? This will reduce your headache while selling your house because you will have all the correct papers to hand. It will remove any anxious communications with your council in case one of your alert neighbors complain to them about your extension. And most of all, it will keep you above board and legal at all times. I shall abbreviate permitted development to PD in the talk, so I fumble a little less. And in this talk, I'm going to cover how you can extend your detached house at the back or the rear. So this is our topic for today, permitted development rights for householders. What are detached houses that I'm going to talk about? These houses stand alone, untouched by the walls of the neighboring houses. Think of a no strings attached relationship. And that's an example of the beauty on your screen. So that's how a detached house would look like. Now that you're sure of what type of house your property is, there are some other conditions attached to your house that you need to be clear about. Please check that your house is not a part of any of these conditions that have just bounced on your screen. Your house should not be a listed building. It should not lie on Article 2 land, which are areas of outstanding natural beauty that this country abounds in, or conservation zones. You should not have an Article 4 direction implemented on your house, which will restrict any extensions under the PD rules. Your house should not have been converted from another previous use, and also your house should not be a new dwelling. And most of all, your house should be a house. By that I mean it should not be a flat or a maisonette. How can you find out if this applies to your property? Check your property deed papers, do an online search with your postcode in it, or ask your appointed architect or designer. Now, before we go further, check all the three headings in the orange semicircle at the top of your screen. We always recommend that you apply for prior approval or a lawful development certificate, which has been abbreviated as LDC on your screen. For a detached house, you can extend up between 4 to 8 meters at the rear ground floor of your property. If you extend more than 4 meters, but of course within 8 meters, then it becomes mandatory for you to apply for prior approval to your local council. And how do you measure this extension depth that you're extending up to? So the depth of your extension should be measured from the original wall of your house as it was built on or after July 1st, 1948. Now, let's look at that in a sketch. If you look at this blue box on your screen, let's assume this blue box is your original wall, original house as it stood on July 1st, 1948 or after that. So your extension depth will be measured from the rear of this wall to the rear of your proposed extension. Let me explain one more thing. This is your original house, and this gray bit is what you propose to extend on the ground floor. So the distance between these two external walls should be anywhere between 4 and 8 meters for a PD. Now, be careful to judge if a previous owner has built an extension before you bought the house. Again, look at this sketch here. You have this blue house, which was your original house. Somebody before you added this white box at the rear, a 4-meter extension. And now you have bought the house and you would like to add another bit of rear extension to that. Judge this very carefully. This is not allowed under PD rules. Another very important thing is the shape or the profile of your rear extension. But before that, let me just cover this. The total area of your extension should be less than 50% or equal to 50% of your rear garden area that is available to you. And so let's talk in numbers. You have 100 square meter area of your rear garden available to you. You can build only 50 square meters on top of that area, and that 50 square meters should include your ground floor extension and any other outbuildings, or let's say a shed like from B&Q, which is already there sitting in your garden, or you propose to add later on. Now, coming back to the shape of your rear extension on the ground floor, look at these two examples at the bottom right of your screen. So this is a detached house 1. This is a detached house 2 across this boundary wall, this line in blue that you see. Let's look at the one on the left-hand side. The pink area is the box is what your original house stands like. And like I told you, we should measure in between the two external walls. And this is the front of my house. I go to the back of my house. From my existing wall, I draw another line, which is, let's say, 4 meters deep. And then I make this nice yellow area that you see is my proposed extension. The council will not agree to this under PD rules because your proposed extension should look like this sketch on the right-hand side. So these small yellow boxes that you see, they follow the stepped profile of your existing house. And this is what the council is going to accept under PD. So be very careful of what areas you are covering under your permitted development, ground floor, rear extension for a detached house. Now let's look at the height of your rear extension. How high can your roofs be? The maximum roof height of your extension cannot be higher than the existing highest part of your roof. And within 2 meters of the boundary wall of your house, the height of your extension cannot be more than 3 meters. To understand this, let's look at a couple of sketches. For that, let's assume the two most common roof types. It's either a flat roof to your extension or a sloping roof to your extension. So for a flat roof, the height should be 3 meters or less of your rear extension. Look at the sketch. So this blue wall is your existing original wall of the house, the rear wall, and this gray bit is what you want to add on to it as part of your rear extension. The height of your extension, this is a flat roof, you see, one line. You will measure from the top of your flat roof. From this point onwards, you will measure to the nearest ground floor level next to your extension. And this height should be 3 meters or less. What if you have a sloping roof? Let's have a look at that. Then the maximum roof height of the sloping roof is 4 meters. So again, this blue wall is the existing wall, rear wall of your original house. This gray box is what you want to add on to it, and you have proposed a sloping roof for this extension on the ground floor. The highest point of your sloping roof will be 4 meters or less, and the lowest point, which is called the eaves, which is where your sloping roof meets the vertical wall of your external wall, this should be 3 meters or less. To be on the safe side, if the council says 3 meters or less, it is good if you design for 2.95 meters. Another landscaping or a garden issue that is often overlooked is that you cannot have a patio that is raised more than a foot or 30 centimeters or 300 millimeters from your surrounding garden level. The material of the patio has no bearing on this. I cannot say that I'm making it out of timber or bricks or railway sleepers. I cannot raise anything I make more than a foot from the surrounding garden level. Now let's talk about what you can extend on the first floor of your detached house at the back. I hope you will revisit all the 3 headings that are in the orange semicircle at the top of your screen. And as always, we always recommend that you apply for prior approval or a lawful development certificate, or an LDC abbreviation. Now, the maximum depth of your extension on the ground floor and the first floor together should be 3 meters. No more. And how do you measure this depth? The depth of your extension should be measured from the original wall of your house, the way your house was built on or after July 1st, 1948. So let's look at a sketch again. So this blue box is your original house. So from the back of this wall, original wall, to the back, and this is your gray box is your new extension that you're proposing on the ground and the first. So the distance between these two walls should be 3 meters and no more at all. Again, you can only cover 50% of the rear garden or open area available to you in your extension footprint. What is a footprint? Imagine the way your extension is sitting on the ground, and the area, it is the area and the perimeter of that boundary of your extension. So you can only cover 50% of that, and this should include any outbuildings or shed that you propose to have on your site, or you already have on your site. It doesn't make a difference how far flung these outbuildings or sheds are from your proposed rear extension. A very crucial thing. This two-story extension that you are proposing on the ground and the first floor, it should not fall within 7 meters of the rear boundary wall of your property. And now, how do we look at this? Let's look at these sketches at the bottom right of your screen. These black boxes are the boundary wall of your plot. These blue boxes are your original house as it stands. I have used two examples to show you if a boundary wall is not straight. This on the right is angled. And these small gray rectangles you see are your proposed extension at the rear of your house, on the ground and the first floor together. So by that method, this is the front of your house. Okay. And so once you propose these extensions, what you have to make sure is that the back wall of this extension should be at least 7 meters away from the rear plot wall or rear boundary wall. You should have a minimum of 7 meters between those two ends. If your house already has an existing single-story ground floor rear extension, which was not a part of your original house. Again, let's look at a sketch to understand this. This blue box, let's assume, is your original house as it stood. You already have on the ground floor at the back of your house, you already have a rear extension made, which is more than 3 meters. In this case, it is 4 meters. And now I come around and I would like a first floor rear extension up to 3 meters because I just told you that's allowed. But this would not fall under permitted development rules because you already have a ground floor rear extension, which is more than 3 meters. If you would like to do this, you will have to take the planning permission route. PD does not allow this. Let's talk of the roof of your first floor extension now. The maximum ridge, the ridge is the highest point of your sloping roof. The maximum ridge of your first floor extension should be lower than that of your existing roof ridge of the house. Again, let's look at a quick sketch here. So this, the blue box is my original house. This tip here of the triangle is the ridge of my existing house. The gray area is what I would like to add on the ground and the first floor to the back of my house as an extension. So this gray top tip is the ridge of my extension, which should be lower than the roof ridge of my existing house. Very simple. The same applies to my eaves. The maximum eave height. Eave is the lowest point of my sloping roof. The maximum eave height of the extension roof, of this extension roof, cannot be higher than the eaves height of my existing roof. And the last thing about the roof is the pitch. The pitch is literally the sloping angle. So this is the sloped roof, this is the horizontal line, and the angle in between these two lines is called the pitch or the slope of the roof. So the pitch of my proposed first floor extension in gray here should be similar to that of my original roof. Please make sure as far as practicable you are able to do this. Now let's talk about windows, adding windows on your first floor rear extension. If you are adding windows on the first floor side walls, so look at the sketch at the bottom of your screen. This pink hatched area, shaded area is your rear extension, and we are looking at the side wall of your rear extension. You want to add a window on the side wall here. Now any window that you add on the side wall should be obscure glazed, which means you cannot use clear glass. It should be frosted. And this window should be fixed. You should not be able to open it till 1.7 meters from the first floor internal level. So till 1.7 meters, this window should be fixed. Above that, this frosted window or obscure glazed window can open like a ventilator usually. Why is this? This is to avoid peeping Tom behavior of the homeowner, and it also helps to maintain neighborly love with your next door neighbors. Another important thing, no balconies should be protruding, extending forward from any of your new proposed walls or your old walls. But Juliet balconies can be installed. This, I believe, is proof that love triumphs sometimes. And remember, the materials used on the external walls of your proposed extension should be similar to those that have been used on your current existing house walls. So this was all you can extend on the ground floor and the first floor of your detached house at the back of your house. And please remember, your property should not form a part of the list that I just showed you in the earlier slides. Keep all of these points in mind. And for more detail, go to the planning website, the link of which you will find in the description box below the video. Go to their website, have a thorough look, or ask your appointed architect or designer who will already have a very good idea of how you can extend and improve your house. In my other videos, I have shown you how to extend similar and other types of properties at the rear, on the sides, or at your roof level. If you have any particular questions, you can email me. My email is given in the description box below this video. If you are ambitious and you want to add more than this, then you should apply for a formal planning permission to your local council. And it would be very helpful if you consult with an architect or a designer for this. Till I see you again, and if you do not have a designer working with you, let your imagination run wild so your council can tame it for you. Thank you.